You have to have a genuine, core, unshakable belief that what you're giving them or what you're selling or what service or product or program you're providing is 20 to 30 times more value than the money they're giving you. How to master new age marketing, how to really become a marketing genius, how to understand the purpose of marketing and why it matters is such a big topic as well, okay? So we're gonna talk about kind of a plan to keep your existing customers and clients, but remember, raving fans is the key here. So creating raving fans is the key. You gotta market to get fans. You have to turn the fans into potential clients and customers. Then you have to over deliver to keep them coming. And eventually the number one key to marketing is becoming the leading authority, right? That's the key to that's the end result, right? When you're the leading authority, you don't have to market anymore. You can listen to people say you always market. I know a lot of people that are the leading authority that don't have to market because so many leads are coming to them and they've mastered their application process and making it exclusive and their price point and all that stuff as well. Now, it's not to overwhelm you because there's a lot of different layers, but I just want to make sure you're on the right track and you have to have something to look forward to know where to get to, right? So that's a huge key. So what I want to do is, yes, we're going to talk about marketing. And I think as I'm speaking, I think I want to ask you your marketing strategies in a little bit, like after I start talking about some of the marketing, because I don't want to dive in first, but I do want you guys to start thinking about what your best marketing strategies and tactics have been over the last 2 to 3 years. Now, if you don't have clients, this is probably the most important call you'll ever be on, because keeping clients, getting and keeping customers is business. That's just business, right? And if you don't have any, either you don't know how to market or your product's not good enough, right? So you have to figure out where the disconnect is as well. But I want you to start thinking about it. I don't want these calls to be me asking a question and there's crickets. I want us to be engaged and I want you guys to get excited to answer and share value. So start thinking as I'm talking about what action you've taken, what marketing campaign, what video, what connection, what you've done to get the most clients, right? I'm excited to hear from Quincy, and I'm not sure if Ramaya is on. There's some other people that are great at marketing. But I know there's people coming on board. So just be ready for that as well, okay? So let's kind of dive in. I'm excited to share some of these things that I've really never shared marketing-wise. We've just been executing them, and I'm excited to kind of open your horizons on what it really is. So first, the right mindset in marketing is you have to have a genuine, core, unshakable belief that what you're giving them or what you're selling or what service or product or program you're providing is 20 to 30 times more value than the money they're giving you. It starts with that, right? So your mindset has to shift. I did a mixtape track. Actually, it's on the newest mixtape coming out, so you haven't heard it yet. But my mindset flipped. When people used to book me to speak, this is my mindset. I cannot believe they booked me. This is crazy. They're going to pay me $5K. Now I get paid four or five times that to be keynote speakers. I got booked to speak in Dubai and Tokyo, but now my mindset is, of course they booked me. Why wouldn't they? Who the heck else would they book? See the difference there? So it's like, of course they booked my services. Of course they hired me. Who else would they hire? Right? So that has to flip, and that comes from mastering your craft, and it comes from getting results. So that's the core belief. Whatever you have to do to get there is the key, right? Here's the reality. Most people spend all their time on the doing, on the creating, on the studying, on the actual thing, the course, the content, the product, the material, right? Which is great, but you should spend most of your time on the marketing of the thing. Let me say it again. Most people spend all their time on the thing, like their product and program, making it the best, which is step one. But then they continue to just spend time on perfecting their product and program when they should spend the time on marketing, getting it out there, making connections, creating things that scale, right? Marketing and advertising is what really matters. And most people spend their time on all the other stuff, not the marketing. There's no dead end to a great business and to a consistent business if there's a good marketing system. So most things don't matter when it comes to scaling your business. Only 10, 20% of things matter, which we'll talk about. But you got to focus on things that add to your scale and add to the awareness of your product. And you want more reach and revenue in your business. So if one of your goals is to market and one of your goals is to reach more people, once you have the full belief that what you're doing is of good service and you know it's the best option out, then you ask yourself, is this going to increase my ability to get my product out though, or is it going to take it away? Is this going to expand my influence and expand my product or not? Right? So that's a huge key. So what I want to talk about is, like I said, the best type of marketing, and I'm going to get into tactics, give you guys 8 bulletproof tactics, but I wanted to give some context first. The best type of marketing is becoming the go-to source, right? That's the best type, where you have referrals coming in, people are ranting and raving about you. They continue to tell other people about you because you promised, you under-promised and over-delivered versus the opposite. It's not that difficult these days to do one-on-one or to close a sale, because you can talk your way into closing a sale. You can promise, you can over-deliver, you can, till you're blue in the face, tell them this is the best product. But eventually, if you can't over-deliver, that catches up with you, right? So you want to create a product where you don't have to sell it. It sells itself because of the exclusivity, and then you over-deliver, okay? So the best type of marketing is to become the go-to. How you do that, there's a couple things. One, you have to make your business about something, a movement. Okay, whether it's connected to a charity, I don't know, but you have to rally the troops, right? You have to go against something, make it about something. It can't just be another marketing company, another website company. You can't just be another speaker. You can't just be another real estate agent, another social media influencer. There's too many of those. You have to be right? So make it about something. Think about Disney. And I've talked about this before, but think about Disney. It's not about movies or about an amusement park. It's where dreams come true. Subway went from a fast food place to a weight loss program. Are you kidding me? Right? Right when it switched its positioning, it blew up. Harley Davidson, live to ride, ride to live. So what are you about? If you don't know what you're about, then how will your customers know? Right? So when you make your business about something that is something bigger than themselves, everybody wants to be a part of something. If you can make it to where it's somewhat of a movement, right, to be a part of it, that's a huge key. There's movement watches that came out. They're crushing it, right? There's a lot of companies that they're bigger than just the brand and just the product, right? And those are what you want to create with your business, right? Then you got to figure out who your business is for. Like, what are you about? But also, who is your business for? Understand exactly who your business is for and what the purpose of your business is. I talked about this at one of the masterminds, but this is a huge, huge key. Think about what the purpose of a specific business is. What is McDonald's focus? Does anyone know what McDonald's sells? And if you've heard me talk about this at the mastermind, don't share. But what does McDonald's sell? Maybe have some guesses in the chat. What does McDonald's sell? What's the number one thing McDonald's sells? Time, a system, a Coke and a smile? No. Happiness? No, definitely not. With that, food? Okay, good job, Gavin. So convenience, that's what they sell. So they don't care about anything except convenience. Do they care about the burgers being good or bad or healthy? No. Do they care about the workers? No. They care about convenience. So when the movie came out, so every decision they make from the top to the bottom is it more convenient? Like, people think when that Super Size Me came out, their sales would drop. They stayed the exact same and then got bigger. Why? Because if they do a documentary on how McDonald's is unhealthy, nobody cares because they're not eating McDonald's to be healthy. Why would they care if it's healthy or not? They're not eating there to be healthy. They're eating there because it's fast and cheap, right? So if a documentary comes out slandering McDonald's because their food's unhealthy, now if they slandered that it wasn't convenient, that might shift some people. But if they talked about how it's bad food, who cares? the people eating there are not eating there to be healthier. They're eating there because it's fast and cheap. So you have to understand the purpose of your business. Every decision they make is based off convenience. Louis Vuitton is the same thing. It's not convenience, but it's what? What does Louis Vuitton sell? Louis Vuitton has the same material as Coach, but one is 3,000, one is 300. What does Louis Vuitton sell? It sells an emotional feeling. When you have Louis Vuitton, you feel different. It sells a status, it sells a feeling. So every single thing that comes out is based on that. Is this going to increase their emotional frequency? Is this going to increase their feeling? Status, right? It's not about the best material, because if it was, people wouldn't buy it because there's other brands that are cheaper that have better material. So if it comes out tomorrow and it's like Louis Vuitton has been a scam and has the worst material, it's from China, wouldn't change much unless that changes the status of what people look like when they wear it. So most people don't know what business they're in, and it's really hard to master marketing if you don't know what business you're in, right? Grubhub is crushing it. All these places are crushing it in the online world and in the app world because convenience. There's massages that come to you. There's food. We ordered food from, we had someone pick up our groceries last week, right? It's crazy. Kirk, if you're on, Kirk knows one of our game changers. He sells peace of mind. He doesn't just sell websites. He has one of the top marketing agencies in all of Texas, making over 7 figures now, which he started, he was making 160K 3 years ago, because he's selling peace of mind. A lot of those big companies, they just need a website. They don't care if it converts as much. They want to feel like they're online and people can see their presence. So he's selling peace of mind, not websites. So you have to really figure out what problem you're solving and what the purpose of your business is. Because a lot of times it's not what you think it is. Okay, next, you have to take advantage of influencer marketing. Doesn't matter who you are. Having people that have a pulse on your audience, having people that already have an impact on your audience, having people that have a raving fan base that is a perfect ideal audience that would possibly want to buy your stuff, connecting with them. It's the best money can buy as far as marketing goes, right? A lot of companies are doing this and a lot that aren't are going out of business. We've had Uber, Bose, Marriott, PayPal, National Car Rental, Walgreens, Vitamin Water, this AI company, 99 Designs, Upwork. We've had all these companies reach out wanting to pay us to promote them to my audience, right? I say yes to some and no to some if it doesn't match, obviously, my values and my brand. But this is going to go crazy the next couple of years. So you have to understand the power of making sure your company is on social media and the perception is exactly what you want it to be, right? And then, of course, leveraging technology, leveraging testimonials, leveraging customer referrals. You need to get to a place where knowing what you deliver is so good that if you don't learn how to sell it and market it, you're doing the world a disservice. Right? So an example, I was just talking to Caleb, my wife, and I was talking to a couple of our team. We have like an advisory board for the academy. And we were just talking this morning about, I was preparing for this call. I was excited about getting this call out, the marketing and answering your questions and sharing some nuggets I've never shared. And I'm like, man, if people don't get value, I feel like we're way over delivering for the content and for the speakers that we have. So we don't get this often, but maybe every a couple times a year, someone's like, I don't know if I got the value. And then they either didn't log in or they never took any action. But we know with certainty that we're excited that people are going to get massive value and be over delivered to because of how much time we put in. Now, it took a while to get to that place, but that's the place you want to get to. That's where you're going to create a flawless reputation, right? So those are a couple things on how to kind of become the go-to. Understand what you sell, take advantage of influencer marketing, understand social media, leverage testimonials, customers, referrals, and make your business about something. Then marketing is easier when you do all those things, right? So when in terms of getting your message out there, in terms of actually marketing, nothing beats authenticity and passion. But you have to live in the head of your prospect and client. Okay, so write this down if you're gonna write anything down. Live in the head of your prospect and client. Finish the conversation they're already having in their head and think about what they're laying in bed at night thinking about. What are the problems that they need solved? What is frustrating them? If you can enter a conversation already going on in their head, That's a game changer. You are at a very, very big advantage over every other company. So when we realized, and when Kirk realized, it's not about just websites. It's about people want websites. Some want websites to make money. Some want them for peace of mind. Some want them for positioning and image. You don't know until you ask your customer, right? So if you market to everybody, you're marketing to nobody. That's why it's so important to know who your target audience is. But your job as a marketer is to raise your audience's ambition. So what's the real ambition for your ideal customer, right? It's problem-based marketing is becoming a thing of the past. Now it's more aspirational-based marketing. It's more talking to their ambitions and talking to their aspirations and their dreams, goals, and what they want versus just the problems. So you want to answer the question that's already going on in their head, right? Another key is watching people try to do your thing and failing. So this was a big hack that I learned a long time ago. Watching people try to build online businesses, watching people in my previous company try to build companies and try to hire people and train people and create a culture and how to scale and leverage, watching people was painful. Once I figured it out and I watched them, I knew exactly how to market to those people. So what are people doing the wrong way in your industry? That's where you can make a whole video on like why people are failing and how not to fail, right? This is where you get to understand why and how they struggle. Use that in your marketing. That's a huge key. Okay, use that in your marketing. Right? So I want to give you guys some marketing mastery. These are things that you have to have when you're marketing. And marketing is influence. Marketing is getting your message in front of the right people and making it so valuable and such a no-brainer that it's inevitable they're going to buy from you because you're the best option, because you have the right client. Remember, marketing is key. The likelihood of someone responding to you because you want something is obsolete. And if the biggest mistake people make is they're promoting their expertise, their skills when you're not solving the problem or promoting the solution to their problem, right? So you have to make sure you're understanding these 8 things and you include this in your marketing when you're actually creating copy, an ad, whatever it is, right? So let's talk about mastering mindset marketing. Okay, first thing, change. Okay, you're investing in change. People are looking to invest in change. Our program gets them blank, this change. My company gets you this change. People love change, but they hate transition, okay? They love change, but they hate transition. So if you can kind of close the gap with transition and say, hey, you will change. I know it's gonna be messy, but we take care of all that for you. If you can hit a marketing message that says, oh my gosh, he understands me, you're going to attract the right people every single time, right? And remember, it's easier, 10 times easier to sell a $50,000 watch to the right customer than a $20 watch to the wrong customer. Let me repeat that. It's easier to sell a $50,000 watch to the right customer than sell a $20 watch to the wrong customer. So it's never really a price issue, right? It's never really a price issue because if you feel like your price is too high or too low, you just got to shift your audience. Just got to shift your audience, right? So change. People are looking to invest in change. Next, newness. Now, by the way, guys, this is 100+ hours of being in the trenches, research. This is I don't want to say an obsession, but this is a lot of trial and error in the last 10 years. So this is I call this new age marketing, because as you guys can realize, what worked 10 years ago doesn't really work anymore. Things are changing, and you see some of the biggest companies going out of business because they're not adapting and adjusting, right? So these are the new things that you want to really master and focus on to stay ahead of the curve. So next is newness. This company is bringing cutting edge research. You're always innovating, bringing new information, teaching what's working now, not 5 years ago. This is why we redid all the content 2.5 years ago. because I created some of it in 2012 and 13. I'm like, I got to recreate this. And probably end of this year or early next year, I'll recreate all the content so it's newer and more relevant. Some will stay the same. Some timeless principles stay the same, but all the old school gurus say nothing changes, right? And it's the biggest lie you can say. Okay, so newness. They want to invest in newness. Next is different. What makes your program different? I've talked about this a lot, but the question is not if you've heard it, it's are you executing on this? Get distinct. Right now, figure out 3 things that make your business or your personal brand different. You're the CEO of your life, your brand, and your business. So if someone comes up to you, you need to be ready for someone to say, what makes your business different? Dude, I'm working with 45 website companies. I don't know which one to choose. What makes yours different? And if you're saying things that you should be executing on already, you're not going to trick anybody. So if you're like, oh, we're loyal and honest. Oh, really? That's great to know. Thank you for being loyal and honest. We appreciate that, right? No, everyone's loyal and honest. Okay, you got to think about that. So what makes your business different and unique? And you can articulate that in a way where they're like, oh, wow. And a little hack is looking at your competitors, seeing where the problems lie, seeing where the negative reviews lie, and seeing where the people have messed up in the past and using that as your leverage. So if you're a caterer and you're starting a catering business and you look online and almost every negative, let's say there's only 5%, 10% negative reviews on all the other companies, but it's the same review. They're always late, or there's a disconnect in the food and the pictures, or they were rude to the guests. Whatever the most negative reviews are, you flip that to your advantage. We make sure we over deliver, or we get there early. We make sure you have an amazing experience, or get your money back and it's free. Here's the benchmarks that we measure by. And obviously you want to protect yourself against people taking advantage of you, but just think about the negative reviews or what people don't like about a lot of businesses, right? One of the things I hated in 2010, 11, 12 was almost every program I invested in and every mastermind I invested in was garbage. It wasn't really tactical. And I didn't like that they accepted everybody. So what I do, I need to create something that's exclusive and promise myself to give real tactical content that actually adds value to people, because there's so much fluff and so much BS. Now, this might not frustrate some people, but it really frustrated me. And now the right people who don't like fluff, some of you guys are in this academy because you related to my content and you can't stand fluff, right? Some of you guys are here because of that. And some people who are like, I don't care. Peter's too direct and too intense. I like someone else that is more of the feel good, believe in yourself. If that's you, you're probably not going to be on the academy, right? So it's just knowing your audience, but figuring out what makes it different. Next is relevance. Okay, how relevant is your company? A lot of millennials can't relate to these old school gurus because they're not changing any of their content. So what's relevant in your company? Functional, okay? Functional, real, tangible. How can they use this and succeed with it? How can they use this and get a result? So tools, templates, worksheets, things they can copy, things they can do to get ahead, things they can do to get a competitive advantage. If you follow this, you will get this result, right? So functional. Next one is comprehensive. This word alone is valuable in marketing, right? This is the world's most comprehensive membership for entrepreneurs, for professionals, for sales managers, whatever it is. This covers all the basics, so you won't have to go to seminars. This is the most comprehensive training. Now, only use it if it's actually comprehensive. I'm assuming you guys will have goodwill and honesty, obviously, but figure out which ones are most relevant that you can use based on your current company, right? Attitude. People associate an attitude with your product or programs. And then symbolism. Always want to display symbolism because people get associated with something. So whether it's something that you have in your business that can be something memorable, or something that people could say, oh, that's that company, right? And then of course, movement is invaluable in marketing. You want your prospects to look at what you're doing and associate what you're doing as the new movement. This is the new, I've helped people in the academy, and I've helped people in different workshops I've ran and different speeches I've done Q&A for. People want to create the new way to do something. That should be the name or the title of the website. The new way to do real estate, the new way to do something, the new way to do dentistry. I don't know what it is. The new way to be a chiropractor, the new way to blank, right? I don't know specifically every single person's business. I actually know a lot of your businesses, but this is the new way to do it, right? The old way is not working anymore. This is the new way to sell your home, right? So it has to be bigger than you and me. And a movement is something that is working towards a greater cause. This is the new industry standard, right? And then lastly is leadership. When your prospect looks at your stuff or your product, they kind of want to be led, right? A lot of people are looking for people to lead them. This will lead them into a better life, okay? Driven by growth and contribution. But when you fall in love with your clients more than your business, you have it figured out. So when you underpromise, overdeliver, and you use these specific things that are relevant to your business, then you can test and try out different avenues, whether it's influencer marketing, whether it's email marketing, whether it's ads, whether it's direct mail, right? Whether it's, I mean, I wouldn't recommend billboards anymore, but sadly, some companies are still using them, right? So when you're creating content, remember these 4 things. Make it new, interesting, effective, and responsibility, which means almost make it your responsibility to get them the result they want. So new, interesting, effective. So what I would do, and what I did, is write all these down. You already have them. Listen to this again, but really make sure you figure out if your marketing messaging, if your posts on Facebook, if your videos you're creating have an aspect of some of these in there. Okay. You can hear a lot of this in almost all of my content. And I'm always willing to give you guys behind the scenes and give you everything I use. There's no secrets with me in the academy. So there's a lot of things we've done to make sure it's a strategic approach, right? And just a lot of businesses aren't strategic. They're 2 random acts of action versus intelligent and purposeful action, right? And marketing is something you just got to figure out.